Okay, let's just get right into it. The year is 2025, and the professional world, well, it's changing, and fast. The skills that used to define entire careers, they're basically becoming commodities. I mean, think about it. When AI can do just about anything better, faster, and cheaper, how on earth do you stand out? That's the big question, right? And that's exactly what we're going to break down today. How you can build a genuinely profitable brand right smack in the middle of this AI revolution.
And this, right here, is the core challenge we are all facing. I mean, just think about it for a second. Design, coding, even high-level business strategy. AI is leveling the playing field like never before. So when everybody has access to the exact same incredible tools, what's left? What makes you different? It feels like a pretty daunting question for sure. But here's the cool part. The answer actually reveals a massive, massive opportunity. And that brings us to this kind of weird paradox. You'd think, right? Common sense would tell you that as AI gets more and more powerful, the value of an individual human, well, it should go down. But what's actually happening out there in the real world is the exact opposite.
So why? The answer is your personal brand. Look, AI can spit out technically perfect content all day long, but what it can't do, what it will never be able to do, is replicate your unique voice, your personal story, your core beliefs. In this growing sea of AI-generated sameness, that raw authenticity, that's what builds trust. And at the end of the day, trust is what people buy into. So the real game changer isn't just using AI, it's combining its incredible power with, well, with you.
Okay, so you're sold on the idea, but where do you even begin? For most of us, the first hurdle isn't a lack of skill, and it's not even a bad idea. Nope. It's that feeling of just total overwhelm. It's the fear that leads to paralysis, you know? You get stuck with a million different ideas swirling around in your head and zero execution. The key here is a really simple but honestly a super powerful mindset shift. You've got to stop treating this like some high-stakes business that's going to define your entire life's success or failure. Instead, think of it as a low-stakes experiment, a project. That's it. If it works out, fantastic. If it doesn't, well, you just gathered a ton of valuable data for your next experiment. See how that works? It totally reframes failure into just learning.
So to find a good direction for this project, we can lean on this amazing framework called Ikigai. It's a Japanese concept that basically translates to your reason for being, or what gets you up in the morning. And honestly, it's the perfect tool for uncovering an idea that isn't just profitable, but one that's also deeply, deeply fulfilling. All right, so the whole idea behind Ikigai is finding that sweet spot where 4 key areas overlap. Let's break them down. First, what do you genuinely love to do? Second, what are you actually good at? Like maybe even better than most people you know. Third, what does the world need right now? And this one's crucial. And finally, number 4, what can you actually get paid for? Because let's be real, it's not enough to be good at something if nobody needs it or is willing to pay for it. The magic, your personal goldmine, is right where all 4 of those circles meet. And now, this is where we bring our friend AI back into the picture. You can literally feed these 4 pillars directly into a tool like ChatGPT. Here's a prompt for you. Tell it to act as an expert personal brand coach. Then, just list out a few bullet points for each of those 4 categories based on your own life, and just let it work its magic. Let it generate some potential directions for you. Remember, you don't need a perfect plan right now. You just need a direction to start moving.
Okay, so you've got a direction. Awesome. Now for the next super critical step. Turning that direction into actual cash. How do you actually make money from this personal brand you're starting to build?
Well, there are basically 2 main paths you can take. On one side, you've got services. Think freelancing or agency-style work where you are actively doing the work for clients. This is usually way easier to start and gets you that immediate cash flow. Then on the other side, you have knowledge. This is your coaching, your consulting, your courses, where you're giving advice. This path is way more scalable, and it's what builds your authority over time. Most people, by the way, start with services to build up some credibility and cash, and then they start to move over toward the knowledge side. And listen, do not be afraid to charge what you're worth right from the get-go. I know what you're probably thinking. Who on earth is going to pay me $2,000 or even $5,000? But you have to understand, the market for high-value online expertise has grown up. People are absolutely willing to pay for real, tangible results. Plus, here's a little secret. When you commit to a price like that, it forces you to create a service or a product that actually delivers that level of value. It's a win-win. This is really the long-term journey, what we call the creator ascension path. You start at step 1, getting paid for your tangible skills. You're doing the work. Then, as you build up results and a solid reputation, you move to step 2, getting paid for what you know through things like coaching and consulting. And finally, eventually, once you become a truly respected authority in your space, you hit step 3. You get paid simply for who you are, for your presence, your insights, your name.
All right, so you've got your idea and a plan to make money. Now for the fun part. How do you create content that not only gets you discovered, but actually convinces people to pull out their wallets and pay you? This is where we get into the nitty-gritty of strategy.
Now, this next part is going to sound completely backward, but I promise you it is absolutely critical. So many creators fall into this trap of building the perfect course or the perfect product that nobody ends up buying. Your focus has to be on the sale first and the delivery second. Let me say that again. Don't build a single thing until someone has actually paid you for it. Seriously, you can sell a multi-$1,000 program with nothing more than a Google Doc if your offer is compelling enough. So when it comes to your content, you really need a balance of 2 different types. First up, you've got exposure content. This stuff is designed for broad appeal. We're talking short, entertaining videos, relatable memes, hot takes on what's happening in your industry. The whole goal is just to get your name out there. But then you need sales content. This is hyper-focused on your ideal client. It's the kind of content that solves their very specific, painful problems. It's designed to take them from just a viewer to an actual paying customer. You absolutely need both to grow your audience and your bank account. Okay, let's talk about the final ingredients, the secret sauce, really. This is what separates the people who actually succeed from all the ones who just fade away. And it really boils down to 2 things: how you are perceived and your ability to just keep going. This quote from Machiavelli just hits the nail on the head when it comes to the online world. Your actual skill? That's only half the battle. Your ability to package yourself, to manage how you're perceived, that's just as important. Why? Because online, what people perceive to be true, well, that is their reality. You have to get this. In a world where AI can write the perfect script in seconds, the messenger becomes everything. And what's really fascinating is the order of importance here. First, believe it or not, comes your appearance and your aesthetics, your lighting, your background, the whole vibe. Then comes your tonality and your delivery, how you sound. The actual words you say, that comes last. Once you've checked those other boxes, then, and only then, will people really listen to what you have to say.
Now, I need to warn you about something. When you start putting out content, you will, without a doubt, hit what's known as the dip. This is that brutal, soul-crushing early phase where you're putting in maximum effort for what feels like minimum results. You're posting every day and you're getting maybe 20, 30 views per video. It is so demoralizing, and it is the exact point where most people just give up and throw in the towel. And that right there is the whole game. Over 90% of people quit during this phase. They just don't stick it out long enough for the algorithm to find their audience or for their own skills to compound. So what's the key to getting through it? You have to detach from the outcome. Stop worrying about the views. Just focus on the process of creating and improving one single piece of content at a time. Play the long game. Because that persistence, that is your single greatest competitive advantage, period. So let's bring this all home. In the age of AI, crafting the perfect message, that's the easy part. Anyone can do that now. The hard part, the part that really matters, is building the messenger. It's building you. And so the real question I want to leave you with isn't just about what you're going to create, it's about who you will choose to become.